What's up, YouTube? 2017 Subaru Forester. Customers complaining of a moaning noise while driving. I've isolated as the right rear bearing today, a very common issue, not on this 2017 Subaru Forester, but all Subarus that run this style of bearing. And the best way to isolate it is when your wheel's on the car. I'll show you. I'll go to the other side. Just put your hand like right here on the spring and spin the wheel. I don't feel nothing there. When I went to the other side, I'll spin the wheel and you can feel through the spring the noise and vibration transfer throughout the suspension. So whatever side feels the roughest is the side you need to start with. Now granted, I've had it to where both bearings are bad on both sides, but start with the one that's roughest because sometimes it'll fool you and that noise or that feeling can transfer to the other side just a little bit too, because everything's connected. Runs through the axle, through the differential. You might feel a little bit of that vibration over there as well. So just start with the side that feels the roughest and then drive it again. Anyways, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'm going to continue to make videos like this to make your life easier. I got the part already. Let's get started. Now the first thing we're going to do is this caliper out of our way and rotor off the car. It's going to be a 14 millimeter. Whatever 14 you have available. Preferably something kind of long because those bolts are tight. Go ahead and flip that the other way for when I go back together. Now to speed this process up, I'm going to drop my tools. Anything to make me have to bend over with my whole back. Hey, the job wouldn't be complete if we didn't drop at least one thing, right? Alright, now we're going to pull this caliper off. We're just going to kind of just tuck it out of our way there. Now if your rotor don't want to just come right off, grab your little hammer action, hit the corner of it. Make sure you don't have your e-brake on. If you have your e-brake on, these shoes are going to be clamping to the drum inside that rotor and it's not going to come off. So now we're going to take this axle nut off, which is a 32 millimeter. And if that axle don't push right out, just put your nut on, a few turns, and just kind of hit on it. Don't get too hard on it, because you don't want to mess your nut up. If it's not coming out easily when you hit on the front of that, get you a center punch right there. That's what that little hole is for. And just hit on it. You in the Rust Belt states might have a harder issue getting that out, but I don't have it like that here in the South, Georgia, because we're not on the coast, nor are we up north where all the salt is on the roads. Now I'm going to take it up a few feet here to get to these nuts on the back side of this bearing. There's 4 of them, and they're 14 millimeter bolts as well. Very easy to get to. I've already got my setup right here. You don't have to use what I'm using, but what I'm using is much faster because I do this all day, every day. I just leave those nuts in there. Kind of wiggle your bearing out as you're twisting the axle in. And if it doesn't want to come out like that, just kind of hit on the corner of this hub face. And this little protective cover is all that is. Now you'll notice that this is the same on both ends. Doesn't matter which way you turn it. I mean, you can't turn it like that, but you know what I'm saying, sideways. Generally what I'll do is I'll push a couple of those nuts through a little bit to keep that lined up. And slide that bad boy over your axle. Take your fingers if you can, or if you can't, take your socket. Just line it up. Get all 4 of those bad boys started before we start running down. I have to kind of wiggle your bearing around a little bit. All right, we're started. what I'll do is I'll go kind of corners, snug them down real good. All right. Now I'm going to lower back down a few feet here. Grab that axle nut again. Just snug it down, nothing crazy. Then you're going to take a punch and a hammer. You crimp that right there. Keep it from backing off. Just like that. Alright, now grab Mr. Rotor over here. Make sure your brake pads didn't shift, because sometimes they do when you pull it off. It's probably one of the easiest bearings I've ever done. And they're all pretty similar on most Subarus, depending on the generation. And both start it. Alright, just snug them down a little bit more. Okay, might as well go ahead and put my wheel on while I'm finishing up this video. And I think the torque on these is 87. I'm not positive, I'll look after the video. Go ahead and run them down gently. And let's feel the difference. Oh yeah, huge difference. And that's how it's done, my friend. Just make sure you torque your wheel and take it for a test drive to see if all the noise is gone. If you still hear a little bit of humming, the other side's probably bad too. It won't be the first time I've seen it. I've seen many of these come in over the years that have both bearings bad, but I always start with the one that feels the roughest, and that's just what I do. So anyways, I hope y'all liked this video. I hope y'all found it informative. No one interrupted me, which is shocking. Anyways, y'all have a good day. Subscribe, check like. Peace out, YouTube.